Chapter 2 Skill Practice Help video. I will help you set up some of the problems, then you will have to finish them and solve the other parts. If we look at the first skill, it's asking us to find the missing side lengths in the figure below. I'm going to look vertical, which means I'm going to grab one color so they stand out and color in all of the vertical lines. This value has a value of 10. This vertical piece has a value of 7. And this vertical piece has a value of 3. I have all of the vertical sides, nothing is missing. 10 is the longest one, which means 3 plus 7 gives me 10 on the other side. As we look horizontal, I'm going to grab another color and I'm going to color in everything that's horizontal. I have this line that has a value of 5. I have this little line going left and right that has a missing value. And I have this line from end to end. 8. As I'm doing this, I notice that I have the longest value and I'm missing one of the little ones. The longest value is 8, so I'm going to build a bracket, split it in half, and put an 8 on the end because I have the longest number. One of the little values I have is 5. I need to figure out what plus 5 will equal 8. That is my missing value that I'm going to put on the line. Pause the video, finish this question, and then do the similar skill to the right. The next skill is asking us to use the figure below to find the area of the parts and the total area. Show how you broke up the figure. The first figure has been broken up for us. We have rectangle A and rectangle B. Again, I'm going to use colors for this skill. I'm going to color in rectangle A, and then I'm going to shade its workspace. Now I'm going to grab a second color and color in rectangle B and shade its workspace. As I'm looking at area, I need to remind myself that area is equal to base times height. So I need to find a base and height for each of these rectangles. As I look at A, I'm going to look at the height. A is very tall. It is 5 meters tall. Its height is going to be 5. Its base, if I look below, it cannot be 6. The base cannot be 6 because 6 touches both the orange and the green. It's in both rectangles, so 6 is a value we are not going to use. If I look at the other side, 3 touches only the green, so 3 must be my base. If I look at the formula, I'm going to substitute 3 multiplied by 5, which is going to give me an area of 15. To find its total area, I'm going to find the area of A, which I just did, is 15, plus the area of B, and that's going to give me my total value. You need to finish this problem and then do the problem to the right. The problem to the right is just a little bit different. This time you're going to have to split that figure. Then solve both parts and find the total. For the next skill, draw and label 2 different rectangles, each with a perimeter of 14 units. Perimeter means the outside all the way around has to add up to 14. We really only are using 2 numbers though. So what we're really thinking about is what is half of that. 14 divided by 2. That gives us 7. Remember, your thinking is you are thinking about what plus what will get you to 7. Then, remember, at the bottom, you're switching to area. Once you put in the length or the base and the height, you need to find the area of that rectangle. The next skill is find the area of the shaded portion of the given rectangle. The first question is asking for the large rectangle. Remember from our warm-ups, the large rectangle is the biggest one. In order to find an area, you're going to do area is equal to base multiplied by height. The second piece is asking for the smaller rectangle. The smaller rectangle is the small piece on the inside. Again, to find its area, you are going to do base multiplied by height. And finally, it is asking for the area of the shaded portion, or the gray area. What's happening is you are cutting out the middle. If you are cutting out the middle, you need to decide, are you going to add the large rectangle plus the small rectangle, or are you going to subtract the large rectangle from the small rectangle? Go ahead and finish these problems. This next skill is asking us to complete the generic rectangle. If you like to use color on these skills, go ahead and use color. Remember, anything on the top should be transferred to the bottom. So if 20 is on the top, that value should be transferred below. That's the only value they give us, so it's the only value we can transfer. And we must start there. In this piece, something times 20 is equal to 80. If we're missing a piece of a multiplication problem, we're going to divide to solve that. And in a calculator, or your brain, you're going to do 80 divided by 20. 80 divided by 20 is going to give you 4. Once I put a 4 on the left side, I should transfer that to the right side. Then I can continue working. The first piece, once you have finished this, is asking you what two numbers you have multiplied. Remember, you're going to put these values together to find those. We know that the first number is going to be 20-something, and we know that the second number, we don't know the tens place yet, but it's going to be something with a 4. These are the values you still need to find. Write the product as a sum of the area and find the answer. Remember, that means you're taking all of your products on the inside. Something plus 70 plus 80 plus 28. 3 of the values have already been given to you: 70, 80, and 28. Find the missing value and add them up. For the distributive property, make sure you check your warm-up today. The final skill on the skill practice is adding and subtracting decimals. The single most important thing you must remember when you do this is to line up your decimals. The number 34 is 34 decimal point. 12 and 67 hundredths. In open slots, we need to put in zeros. 0 minus 7 is something you cannot do. The 0 next door is not helpful in borrowing. 4 we can borrow from and make it a 3. Now this can turn into a 10. That 10 is now helpful for borrowing. We can cross it out and make it a 9, and this can become 10. Now you are ready to subtract. Make sure, for subtraction especially, you do not change the order. If 34 is given to you first, you need to keep that first in your problem. Go ahead, finish this, and complete the remaining problems.